Hi everybody. So I decided to just kind of express myself on video. It's the closest thing to a direct testimony as you can get from Allison Vinaya Hemme in the flesh. It's early in the morning on Thursday, the 31st, the day that mediation is supposed to take place. I got a notice about 10 days ago saying no contact, no visitation, nothing else, no like because of, no because of, no because of. It's typical to the kind of things that Jorge submits. He picks a fight and then lets you make an ass out of yourself. You'll have to excuse my smoking. It helps my stress these days. When my daughter comes back, I won't want to pick up another cigarette. You understand? Anyway, don't you get me off on tangents. I was just kidding. This is a serious situation. For some reason, I'm calm about it. And that's, I can only attribute to my faith in God. Because this whole entire time, there's been a resolving feeling of like, you got this, girl. Like, I have you places where I need you. You know, that's that discussion we have with ourselves, with God type thing, you know, like, never discount the fact that having faith in God, me, you know, that connection, means believing that everything you go through is for a purpose. I don't think that's self-righteous. I don't think that that's wrong. And beyond that, I don't think that it's placating it. I don't think I'm just making fantasy stories up. I know that I'm gonna come up with a way to overcome this somehow. And that we're gonna represent other people that are also being subjected to this exact crime. Because right now, there are criminals that are rampant around the world who have sold their soul. They, for whatever reason, I'm not going to try and fill in anybody else's blanks, but you know, it appears that they've hired criminals straight from prison. You know, like, hey man, what would you be willing to do to get out of prison a few years early? Pretty sure that's how they did it. What I wanted to put on video was my testimony about how this abuse feels. This world is so cold and so stone. When I called the Department of Justice, the domestic violence hotline, before he took the custody, I was like, I need help. They're like, well, when was the last incident? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's ongoing. It never stops. I never know when it's, you know, they're like, man, we need to know when the last incident was. I'm like, what, when he punched me in the face? I'm like, God willing, I wish I could get beat up to a bloody pulp 20 times in a row instead of this. Because at least I'd know it would be done. They ended up hanging up the phone on me. Sorry, I thought I was allowed to call the hotline when I was having a breakdown. Thought they were trained in trauma or something. No, just another pile of girls. Proud and childish. The point I'm making is that this world doesn't want to talk about what you can't touch. Oh, where's the bruise? Where does it hurt? Everywhere. Well, your daughter's fine. She's in school. She was in school. She's taking Taekwondo. Yeah, she could have been doing all that with me. Don't try to justify what the fuck is going on. Excuse my language. Don't try to tell me that she's doing fine. She's been brainwashed. She told me she was scared of going back there, that they'd hurt her if she didn't say the things they told her to say. I'm not going to get started on those things. I need to get more footage of how I feel. I feel like a hostage. When the court changed the orders just like that, which they don't ever do, it's unprecedented, you'd think he'd be the frickin' president of the United States, but he's not. He's a convicted felon. Armed robbery. We're talking a majorly convicted felon and a drug addict. I had him arrested when she was like 9, 10 months old because he brought crack into my apartment. That's when we were over. That's why he's got a vendetta against me or something. But he also had a vendetta against the mother of his other child for having child support against him. So he's got issues. People have issues. This whole entire time when I'm like, excuse me, no, I'm a victim. And that wasn't easy for me to come to the conclusion of, that I'm a victim of someone's domestic violence. No one's going to get one over on me. No one's going to harm me. All right. No one's punched you in the face. You're right, Allison. But that's not the worst of it. And what did our society do? Try to create people that are so used to the cliche, don't victimize yourself, don't be a victim, don't make yourself a victim. Nice cliches, jerks. There is a such thing as perpetrators. And there are, therefore, such thing as victims of perpetrators. And it's not for us to fancy-dancy our mind brainwashing to say, well, just because he subjected you to these things doesn't mean you should make yourself a victim. Right, but let me guess. If I was in the hospital with all of my limbs broken, would you tell me the same thing? Or would you say people shouldn't get treated that way? Why? Because you can see the injuries? Why? Did everybody forget about the heart and the soul? And the innocence of children and love and suffering? Suffering. Oh man, I feel like a hostage. Did the court issue any kind of, okay, hey guys, because I'm gonna post a video. It's the video from the very night that I got to talk to her after the custody changed, and she's crying, and she's like, Mom, you could tell she doesn't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, did your dad tell you what's going on? No. I'm like, your dad didn't tell you what's going on? No. And I'm like, okay, well, I started trying to explain it. He's like, oh, I'm trying to get inappropriate. This slimy, sick, disgusting voice of his, all psychopathic. I'm just trying to keep things appropriate. Oh, because you never had any fucking power. You're so emasculated. And now you finally feel like you can stand up straight. I never emasculated that man. I never treated him like he was... I didn't do it to him. He's fucking crazy. And guess what? This world has crazy people. But my whole family hasn't wanted to listen to it. Why? Because he's handsome? I think one of the greatest serial killers of all time was extremely seductive and charming. Don't let it fool you. Kim Kling, writing a letter for him to submit into court. How much did he pay you? Or who did he threaten? Your letter didn't even make any sense. None of it makes any sense, you guys. Kim, Tasha, Billy, you motherfucker. Taking me to Arizona and then conducting absolute trauma, torture, and just trying to torture me. I guarantee you was selling frickin' the video of me, of what went down with me on the black market. You sent me a text message. We are everyone, we are everywhere. May every day and sky be gray. May all your, road travels be uphill. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys feel proud of yourselves for being total sellouts. All of you, any one of you who sell out to this, any one of the court clerks, any one of the neighbors, any one of the policemen, any one of my family, any one of my friends, anybody who subscribes to turning a blind eye to violence. And I'm talking against humanity. Doesn't deserve to be part of the future. And I say that lightheartedly. I'm not going to have anything to do with taking anybody out or dealing with or judging anybody. I'm just saying, I'm what integrity looks like. This is what a good mother looks like. Lost everything, and I won't give up. At least I can talk without falling apart 2 years later. But you're damn straight. There's no way I could make sense of the situation on paper, to people, to anybody. At the time, I didn't even know. I'm not a criminal. I don't think like a criminal. It's like, and I had started figuring out something was going on, and I tried to ask for help ahead of time. I tell the Department of Justice, I go, look at these drawings. These drawings look very disturbing. She goes, well, look on the bright side. You have custody now. And I'm like thinking to myself, yeah, now. It was literally a week later. The stigma associated with losing custody and with everybody treating you like, oh, you must have done something. You must be lying about something. You must be in denial about something. Is a very difficult thing to deal with. But fuck that. Who cares about what people think about me? It's never been about that. So he sends in a frickin' gang stalker. Try to get me all colluded up with a frickin' pedophile. Sorry, George. You're not gonna get me to lose my face. You've forced me into these circumstances. You're a professional framer. Way to go. Tough guy. Nice work. You should feel real proud of who you've become, the man you've become. What the hell is going wrong in this world that family won't look at evidence and family will appear to almost have been paid off even right now? I'm in my parents' house, my mom and my dad and my brother, and I'm in Vegas. But it's almost as if because of some obligation, or maybe because something changed and they've decided a new approach, because they still don't want to look at the information and they still kind of placate me like, okay, sweetie, whatever. And maybe they're all just brainwashed, which I hope that's the case. They're just brainwashed, and that's why they're not able. I've tried to talk to a lot of people about this situation. When I was falsely incarcerated, yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to multiple people about this situation. People, and so they're not on drugs or anything, and that's what that represents. But people start falling asleep when I'm talking to them. I'm like, when I'm trying to tell them things about the details, the facts, people start falling asleep. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I have actually more probable reason to believe people are literally been brainwashed. Don't ask me how, but it's not like we all don't see the news and the alternative news stories about the capability of voice-to-skull technology and so on and so forth. We can't just watch the news and see a news article about MK Ultra or about microwave weapons being used or, brainwash. You can't just have some theoretical conversation about these supposed technologies and everybody's live in a fool's paradise that it just doesn't happen around them. Like, oh no, I heard about that, but that's not happening. What? Do you know how many times I've heard when I've told people, I'm like, 800,000 children went missing in 2016 from America? And I never heard a story about that. Never heard from 1.6 million co-parents whose kids are missing. We know about organ trafficking, organ harvesting, people selling organs, people selling children for sex. Do you know how many times I've told people these statistics and they're like, oh, those are the unwanted children. Excuse me? You deserve to put your name, your name's going on the list, mister, for that comment right there, But that's what society wants to hear out of people. I get to be the one that gets like, whispers behind my back like, oh, she's just a little crazy. No, I'm fucking aware. I'm aware. I've got guts. I'm a warrior mama. And I have God. I'm not gonna, sorry, I know my life doesn't look so pretty. And now you're 41 years old already. Don't give me that nonsense. I had my place. I had everything. I built the world for my child and I. And this man forced me into a situation of, guess you're gonna have to pick between your kid or having your apartment. Well, that's an easy answer. I pick my kid. Well, now what are you going to do? If you get your child back, where are you going to take care of her? Oh, I'll take care of her, all right. Because in the process of that court giving me back my kid, they're going to cut me a check. I can give them a number of reasons, but one of them being the frickin' bail I had to pay when I got arrested. Okay? Obstacles. Everybody wants to come at me with well, what are you going to do? Well, what are you planning on doing? Oh, all these control freaks. Everybody thinks they're in charge. What you're going to do. Well, right, like I'm in a position to say what is going to happen. The only thing I can do is have peace inside of my resolve, because there's no peace inside my soul. Peace inside my resolve that says I know that there's a purpose. And have faith that I know that my daughter is strong, and I raised her till she was 7.5 years old, so she's pretty well formed, and she'll never forget me no matter how hard he tries. I feel like such a hostage. He doesn't let her say anything about love. You can tell she gets uncomfortable. She doesn't want me to say the things that I've said. Well, I'll guarantee you this. They didn't give me any orders. Okay, now that your child's never going to come home again, here's how you're going to here's how you're going to approach those conversations. Oh no, don't give me any instructions. But this motherfucker's going to say, that's not appropriate conversation. Where'd you get your instructions? I didn't get a copy of this. Oh no, we're just going to be subjected to it? No, this is just another level of the freaking abuse. Now that I've taken your custody and I've broken your heart into 100 million pieces, guess what? You also get to know that when you start talking to your daughter about love and getting her home, I'm going to call that inappropriate conversation. I'm going to take the phone from Alexandria. I'm going to let you hear her sob, and then I'm going to hang up the phone. And Alexandria is going to be real upset that you made me do that to her. And then you're going to know it's because you made me do that to her. So that next time you won't do that. You'll have that to think about. Oh, I guess you're going to harm your daughter again by trying to tell her you love her. What, you're going to make me choose between deciding to make you hang the phone up on her because you're an asshole, because I'm telling her something she needs to hear, or I'm going to choose to back off and concede to your fucking power and control tactics? Fuck you. I'm going to tell my daughter I love her and let you take the phone and hang up on her so that way she's never forgetting the fact that you're a jerk and you're an asshole and you're a self-righteous man who needs to pay for his crimes. You need to be taken out of society, Jorge Vasquez, if that's even your really name. When I text messaged your sister 6 months after this, I said, hey, teacher, Tanya, remember Christmas time? Yeah, remember those birthday party I threw for his 16-year-old daughter? Remember all those times we spent together, sis? How come Jorge's not letting me see my daughter? Like, hey, what did I do that makes you all think that I should have lost my custody? She goes, you know what you did. No, I don't. Why don't you say it? You know what you did. Well, if I know what I did, and you know what I did, how come you're not helping me get better? How come you're not, forget Jorge, how come you're not taking Alec to come and visit me just because you know she needs to see me? Because every teacher knows what's detrimental to children. How come you're not participating in this? And she says, you're digging yourself a grave you might not get out of. So I've been investigating a whole lot of information for the last 2 years. And it's brought me down a lot of trails. And this information started with credible information. And I've done fraud auditing for 20 years. And I know what I'm talking about. Yet I was blown off by the FBI. I called the Department of Justice. I called the Child Human Exploitation. Listen, as far as I can tell, there is not anybody I can trust. Except for maybe the president. If I could talk to the president and be like, oh, could you, make sure I talk to an investigator that's not going to harm me? My family, after I lost everything, and I told them in the beginning, I said, if you guys don't help me, I'm going to lose everything. Don't turn around a year from now and say, look, yeah, you lost everything, because I'm going to lose everything if you guys don't help me. I can't do this alone. I can't litigate this. I was in court every single week on the computer for 4 months straight, but before I went to bed. And then I still was at the computer and still am at the computer, still trying to get to the bottom of this. But that's what they did. And then they're like, you need to go to a shelter. You need to go to rehab. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Well, there's something going on with securities. Something going on with it. Something going on there. It seems actually like my instincts tell me that it's a lot simpler. It's not so dun dun dun. It's actually more probably something just like securities fraud. People are chattel, and people are stock commodities. And, I could be valuable on 1 or 12 different reasons. Maybe they're selling me for sex. Maybe they're selling my organs. Maybe they're selling my voting power. Maybe they're just... who knows? Just writing me off of the truck. I don't know, and I don't care to speculate. All I can tell you is that there is something going on. There is a reason why 100% of the people in my life have not wanted to look at the evidence and have tried to just treat me like I need to just get on my own feet now and just do me. Sorry. Every time anybody tries to make sense of the situation, the more it frustrates me. No. There is no me until my daughter is safe. Sorry, I'm not selfish. I'm never going to be like that. You just need to do you. What are you talking about? Well, have you been able to have any fun lately? What are you talking about? Like, look, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not sitting here a sourpuss all day long. Like, meh, don't talk to me. I loosen up. I joke around. I'm not constantly 100% focused on this. But there is no, hey, you want to go, look, if somebody was to invite me to a concert, I'd go or something like that. I mean, I don't know anybody, I don't have any friends, I don't have any reason to believe anybody would invite me to a concert, but the point I'm making is that I don't not have fun, but I'm not sitting here going, ooh, I wonder what I could do today. That's what I'm saying. The only thing that matters to me is to get my daughter out of harm's way and to get justice and restitution. I'm not a lazy person. It's not that I don't want to work. I want to get my daughter out of harm's way. And everybody, I was like, cringes, like, you're exaggerating. You sound like an angry ex. Fucking, I swear to God, I'm just going to start calling everybody cliche. Everybody's name is, hey, cliche, hey, cliche. Okay, that's what I'm going to start doing. Every single person is acting the same way. The only conclusion that makes sense is that they're all brainwashed or bribed. I don't believe that 100% of everybody has turned to the dark side. I don't believe that at all. I believe there might be a handful of people in my life that it will surprise me when I do validate exactly what's the real conspiracy is, and who's behind what and who hired who. I have reason to believe that Jorge may very well have been sent into my life because I got information that, there's lots of, I've been very aware, I've been very detail-oriented, I've been very calculative and discerning when it comes to the situation, and I don't say things that I haven't deduced from a intelligent standpoint. So, yeah, the purpose of this video is to document what I've been going through, and I know that I've rambled on a few different times, and I could have been more specific about how horrible it has been to try to talk to my daughter, and I don't get to talk to her about anything real. So now you're talking about my kid that gets taken from my 100% custody, and now I don't get to ask her questions like, is everything okay? Is anybody hurting you? I don't get to say anything like that. I get to know that if I want to enjoy a conversation with her, I could talk about the weather, I could talk about the books she's reading, and that's about it. But even when I say goodnight, I love you, I love you, I love you, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, she's been told to get off the phone. I'm allowed to feel fervor at wanting to expose this man, not for joy. I want to expose this man so that I can expose all the rest of the jerks around me that don't give a shit if someone's being harmed, because they'd rather think about their own comfortable, cozy little couch, living room, home, castle, circumstance, paycheck, church menu, busy day, schedule, anything that comes ahead of protecting people being harmed, right? What, are you just an accidental hero because an accident happens in front of you? When you hear about someone being harmed that is especially a family member, and you choose to blow it off, falling for a psychopath, and you want to call yourself God-loving folk, don't blame me for what you make it look like. Smelly. Oh, that doesn't smell very good. That biblical talk, all that supposed love it, Jesus and God stuff doesn't smell very good. It smells like it's spoiled because your actions are not fresh. But let me say this. Thank you, Mom, Dad, David. I was here in Las Vegas for 3 months living in my car because I couldn't be in California anymore. I had to leave there. I've been harassed by the police. They're trying to force me to commit fraud against myself. You're not going to get me to do that. The situation is absolutely violent. I get harassment calls, my computer's been hacked, my information's been stolen. I got literally beat up by a frickin' stranger. I literally think that dude was hired to try to hospitalize me. Why? Because then we can make her sound like she's brain dead and we can take her organs or something like that. Or whatever. Then we can put her on pills and we can make her act a certain way, and then we can adjudicate her to being nuts. I don't know. But I don't trust anybody anymore. And what, can you blame me? And I'm not sitting here around acting like a shady person. I'm just like, I just don't want to, I don't want to be in the world. I don't trust the world right now. I'm like vulnerable to falling apart. I want my daughter. And this guy doesn't understand how many times I'm still willing to negotiate. But you're out of time. Because God's got a plan that's going to evolve here real quick, because today's supposed to be the day. I got to talk to my daughter. You'll see, it was in the video. And this is supposedly going to be the last time I talk to her. He's trying to ask the courts for no visitation, no contact. Today we heard in the news that like New York or Virginia passed a law that says that they'll allow an abortion up until the time of birth, basically. And even if you're not really sure about it, they'll keep it, warm for a little bit till you make up your mind. So our world is just full of Satan-worshipping baby murderers. And pretty soon they'll have restaurants that are like cannibal-friendly. Pretty soon they'll be able to take off their pizza signs, dentist offices, daycare parlors, and say what it really is. Come and have sex with a child and have a pretend play date. Sick. Sick. This world is sick. And if you're thinking to yourself, God, you always want to talk about this. Shut the fuck up and open up your ears. Pay the fuck attention. If you don't want to spend any time hearing what's really going on, then there's something wrong with you. And that's a fact of the matter. And this isn't anger. This is a sickened heart who's going through it. So for anybody who's turned their back and not listened, just start listening. I don't need any accolades. I don't need to hear any explanations. Just start. Uncle Freddie, Mom, anybody out there, I don't care if you sold me on the secondary market. I'm still alive. Go ahead and break that deal. Pay him back. Okay? Just do what is right and what is necessary. Just do it. Jorge, pull your head out of your fucking ass. You lost, okay? Go fuck with somebody else. But don't. I'm not giving you free rein to go fuck with somebody else. I'm saying snap out of it. Okay? You've done your criminal spree long enough. Knock it off. Give me back my kid and go somewhere else. Okay? Go figure out what the fuck's wrong with you. Go get some help. Okay? Smoke some pot. I don't know. But stop yourself from being the animal that you are. People, we can't turn a blind eye to the vicious demons that are running around here looking like people we know. Don't shame somebody like me who's willing to call it out and lead us on the field and take them down. Because it's not going to go down like this anymore, guys. We don't have any room for them anymore. And it's time we meet them on the field and not like, hey, everybody, can you light some incense? And let's pray for everybody's souls. Fuck that shit. I'm ready to get rid of them. Off, done, out, go, bye-bye. We don't need you anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Get your hands off of our children and get out. And I'm already sure of the fact that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to hurt them or kill them. We need to round them up and put them on an island in the middle of the ocean and leave them there. Okay? And we'll just keep a camera on them just in case somebody does swim a little too far off. We're like, hey, let's go ahead and send them a little tsunami and push them back on the island, okay? But let's call it a day, you guys. We need to band together. We need to be one. And we need love. Not greed. Love. So anytime you find yourself feeling materialistic or egotistical, just think of love. Pray for us. Pray for us.